Step 1, you take the box out the box. Step 2, you take the thing out the box. Step 3, you open up the box. So here's the ZWO Seestar S50 and its nice little carrying case. Has a handle here. And let's open this thing up and see what's inside. So it's going to come with this nice little handle that's pushed in here. You'll just pull that out and it's on some straps. And then you have some locking tabs right here. Let's just open this up. Let's open it up. All right, we've got the tripod and we have the Seestar itself. And there's a couple of other things in here. Let's go ahead and take this out. There's the Seestar. Here is the tripod. Here is a cable, a USB cable. You have some quick start guides, safety guidelines. You have a solar filter included, which is cool. And then I think they give you a treat, silica gel. Oh, never mind. It says do not eat. I was going to throw this in my hot chocolate today, but oh well, just leave that in there. Do not eat. So initially, all you'll need out of the box is the Seestar, the tripod, and the charging cable. And the first thing I did was I just hooked it up and started to charge it. So I'll just plug this USB into my battery here, and then I'll take the USB-C and plug it into the Seestar right here. And so when you get some power going to this thing, you'll see the battery indicator on the side here, just beneath the power button. And it's 4 lights. So when all 4 lights are lit up, you know it's fully charged and ready to use. So I'll talk about the tripod real quick. This is very similar to the TC40 that comes with the AM5 carbon fiber. It has the twist lock release. You extend these out, pull the legs out. Now this is a great little travel tripod. It fits in the case. It's nice and tiny, but when you do set this thing up to level it, you'll have to get pretty close to the ground, either on your knee or find a little stool or something. I've used it with both a larger tripod and this one, and my larger tripod is a little bit easier to get the level up. This thing does come with a bubble level on here, and if you were just going to get a rough level, you could use that before you install the Seestar, but most people are probably just going to leave it on the tripod and use the in-house leveler. So while this thing's charging, the next thing we'll do is download the Seestar app. It can be found in your app store on Apple or Android or whichever platform you use. So we'll just open up our app store and go to the search, and I'll type in Seestar, all one word, and it should pop up right there, and you'll download the app. And they just updated the version 1.13.1 1 week ago, and it added some new features. I'll make another video in the future going over that, but yep, we'll just download the app and open it up. While the Seestar is charging, I'm going to go ahead and power it on, and the power button is right here above the battery light indicators, and you'll hold it down for a couple of seconds. So once you power it on, you'll give it a minute, and this thing is so smart, it's going to talk to you. Hey, they said you were smart.
Powering on, ready to connect.
Sweet. And mine makes some little noises. And then it's ready to go. I'm going to open up the Seestar app here. I'm going to close my location so it doesn't give away my location, but this is what the home screen will look like. You'll have S50 dash some weird numbers and letters. I just changed the name of mine. I'll show you how to do that. I'm not going to go over everything in here. I'm just going to do a little quick start today. What you'll do is click on your S50 name up here, and that's going to take you to the settings page. And this is where you can turn on your anti-do. You can mute the voice on it or do low or loud. And then under Wi-Fi, you can go in here, and where it says modify, you can change the name of your Seestar if you choose to do so. So this is also going to tell you your battery life and how much storage you have. You click on the storage and it'll tell you how much you've used right there. The very bottom tab is advanced features, and this is where you'll find with the latest update you can now do 10 seconds, 20-second, or 30-second exposures. So that's pretty cool. I've only tried 10 seconds so far. Yeah, I'm looking forward to trying 30 seconds and see how it does. I think they recommend to keep the skip horizon calibration. You want to keep that off so it tries to do the horizon calibration. It's supposed to help with the tracking, I think. And here you can save each frame for stacking in another software, or you can just turn that off to save room and just use the stacked image that the S50 gives you. And below that, you have adjust level, compass calibration, and level sensor calibration. To go and adjust the level, you'll just hit the adjust button. It'll say, please level your Seestar. So I have mine sitting on this table flat, and apparently it's not perfectly flat. It's 0.4. I think they said once the circles are green, you should be okay. And I think that's under 3 degrees, but I always try to get down to 0.2. The closer you can get to 0, the better it should perform. So now that we've got the Seestar fully charged, let's get it on the tripod here. I find the easiest way to do this is to just take it and hold it on its side and then start threading the tripod in. And you can see it. And then once it's on there pretty good, you can set it down and start twisting it. And you don't want to over tighten this thing. Just get it tightened enough for where it's, nice and sturdy. One trick I learned using this the first night, I didn't know how the actual telescope, which side it was going to open up from. So I had it with the Seestar facing to my right. The scope actually opens up on this side. So you'll want the power button to your right, and the scope is going to open up facing that way. So if you're shooting something towards the south, you don't want the Seestar logo facing you because it's going to open up here and it's going to have to spin all the way around. It'll do it, but this will just speed up the process if you have it turned like this. So since we have it securely on the tripod, I'm going to twist these open and open up the legs and fully extend them. And this table is not perfectly level. It was off just a little bit, so I'll see how close to 0 I can get inside the app. And what we'll do is we'll just adjust the legs until we can get close to 0. And then go down to advanced feature and then adjust level and hit adjust.
Please level your Seestar.
And it's telling me to please level my Seestar. So what I'll do is I'll adjust the legs and try to get this thing as level as I can on this table. I can get it down to about 0.6, 0.7, and it's kind of floating around a little bit. I usually try to get it down to 0.2, and that's about as good as I can get it. But I'm going to show you something that'll make life a lot easier here. So leveling this thing with this tripod it's kind of tough because you have the twist locks. You have to slowly, push in a little bit and then tighten it back down, and it's tough to do. But if you can get close to 1 degree, then this little doodad right here is going to be a godsend. You're going to love this thing right here. This is the Neewer leveling base. It's just a fine adjustment, and this it screws right onto the tripod. think that's a 3/8 inch adapter. And so I was just able to get it to about 0.6, 0.7. And same thing, I'm just going to start it off to the side so I can see it. All right, twist that on like that. And now let's try it again with this leveling base and see how easy it is. And you really just use small movements with this thing because it's easy to make it worse. So I'm going to hit
Please level your Seestar.
Adjust level. We're at 0.8, 0.7. And I'm just going to slowly turn these knobs and see if we can make it a little better. So one thing I noticed with the Neewer level adjuster is you want to be careful. This happened to me on my first night. The screw actually came out of the bottom, and luckily I was able to find the spring, the screw, and the washer in the grass. So you don't want to make huge adjustments with this thing because the screws just back out as I was trying to level it there. So now I'm going to have to get my screwdriver and put this back together. Okay, we've got it down to about 0.6, 0.5. I'm just going to make a couple of more turns on this thing. Getting pretty good. One more small turn. And that's usually what I shoot for, 0.2. It's so hard to get to 0.0. It can be done, but once you get that little green circle in there and it's pretty close to 0, I think it's good enough. If you do pick up this leveling base, you definitely want to be careful because I've had the screws just completely fall out. They back out of it. If you twist it too much, you really want to get this thing as close to 1 degree or so as you can with the legs, and then use these little red knobs right here for the fine adjustments. And I shoot for 0.2, 0.3, somewhere in there. That's as close as I can get it, and I'm not going to struggle with it and spend 15 minutes trying to get this thing perfect. So it should work fine as long as you get it, underneath 1 degree, I would say. We're back in the app. I'm not going to go over all of the features in here. I'm just going to go over, the easiest way to get started. So you could use the tonight's best menu down here and scroll through and see if you want to get to something like that, or if there's something specific that you'd like to shoot. I like using the Sky Atlas so I can actually frame it up myself. I've been having this thing open like it's facing towards Australia for some reason. And so what I'll do is I'll slowly drag away from the center of the earth. And for some reason my ground's not on the Sky Atlas. Yeah, it is. I just couldn't see it because it was so zoomed in. Now we're back up. So you'll want to push in and out with 2 fingers to zoom in and out. So this is a good way to learn the night sky. You can just scroll around and look for objects. You'll just, you may see something pop up like that right there. There's the heart and soul. And if you wanted to shoot the center of the heart, you can just frame it up in here however you want to. Say you wanted to get that part too, so you could get, I see 1805 in the bottom left, in the bottom right corner, and then the fish head in the top left corner. So I like using the Sky Atlas to frame my stuff up. Otherwise, if you just go to tonight's best and click on something, it'll frame it for you, and it usually does a pretty good job of getting it in the center. So I've seen a few people on the Facebook Seestar group mention that, well, I turn it on and I've got my app up, but it's not doing anything. It's not moving. You have to actually point at something for this thing to open up and start looking for it. I can't do that inside because there's no stars in my living room. That's all you would do is you want to find your target, and then it's going to slew over to your target, and it's going to take a picture and make sure it's in frame, and it's going to say yes or no. And then it's going to it's going to ask you to do the horizon calibration. Now, I had mine fail a few times the other night. I think you want to be a certain degree in the sky. You don't want to be up high to the zenith, and you don't want to be too low on the horizon. So it's a good middle ground point, like 40, 45 degrees, somewhere in there, and it'll usually work. Once you get on your target, you just want to collect as many photos as you can. Now, the other night I had issues where it was failing to stack, because what this does is it live stacks, and the image gets better and better the more time you put into it. It was throwing out stacks due to or light frames due to star trails. So, and it could have been the wind because it was kind of windy. So these are just my first impressions. Is this thing perfect? No. The other night it was tossing a lot of the frames because there were star trails. I got 28 minutes on my second night on Orion, and it left some streaks from a star. So it's not perfect, but for the price, what you're getting, everything included, I mean, it's all you'll need to get started, especially if you have no equipment whatsoever, and you just wanted to get out and enjoy the night sky and get pictures like your phone could never get. I'm looking forward to pushing this thing to its limits. I am going to be, going after some targets and try to collect multiple nights. Now, with this alt-az mount, you're going to have a lot of field rotation involved in the images. So the longer you shoot something, the more it's going to rotate. So if you were going to try to do multiple nights or get maybe 3 hours on an image, if you're lucky enough to get like 3 clear nights in a row, it would, the best thing to do would to be pick like a window from 9 to 10. I'm going to shoot this thing each night, and it's going to be, close to the same position, and that way you'll have to crop out much less. A lot of people call it a toy. I mean, you can if you want to. It's, whatever you want to call it, but it is a smart telescope, and it's $500. And for what this little thing packs inside, it's an excellent value. I know I made a video a couple of weeks ago talking about astrophotography on any budget, and these were the cheapest options compared to traditional gear like a DSLR and a lens. $500. You've got a nice, and I'm going to go over the specs. You've got a nice Sony IMX462 sensor. You've got a triplet APO. I think it's 50 millimeter aperture. It has an effective focal length of 250 millimeters, but with that tiny sensor, you're going to be really zoomed in on a lot of these deep sky objects. And big ones like Pleiades, Andromeda, they won't even fit. I tried the Rosette Nebula, and just the very center of the rosette fits inside the frame. So it's pretty tiny field of view, but that's okay. That's going to let you zoom in and really, get some smaller objects. Also included with this thing, it has a dew heater. Okay, and down here in the south, we need that like crazy. And probably in the desert, you may not need it, or up in the mountains where humidity is low, you may not need that. But to have an included dew heater, it has a light pollution filter. It comes with the solar filter that's in the case. I mean, for $500, you really can't beat this thing. Is this going to replace my traditional rigs? No, but it's going to be an accessory. I'll give you a good example. The other night, it came in the mail. I got home from work. It was cloudy. I charged it up. They said it was supposed to clear up around midnight. I walked back outside. The clouds were even worse. So I was like, okay, I'm going to bed. And right before I was about to go to bed, I walked out one more time, and it was crystal clear. And I set this thing up. I got it level, and I got just a few images of Orion and the Horsehead and Flame nebulas. And then I packed it back up, and I was inside probably in 40, 45 minutes. So for nights where conditions aren't perfect, I don't like setting up a big rig or my full mount if I can only get, maybe an hour of data. So this thing is so easy and quick to set up. The hardest part is the leveling. And this little accessory will help make that a little bit easier. But I also like using a taller tripod. I'm going to show this tripod. So I used this tripod the first night, and you have to get low and maybe on your knees and stuff. This one is much bigger, and you don't have to get down on one knee or anything to adjust it. So These are maybe 2 accessories that you could look into to make this a little bit easier, because the most physical part is leveling it. Once you're done with that, it's all on the app. You're not touching it. If you're looking to get into astrophotography as a complete beginner, I could highly recommend this thing. This will get you started. It'll get you up and running for at a nice price point. If you're an experienced astrophotographer, when I get a nice clear night, I usually set up 2 of my rigs, and now I'll be able to set up 3 to maximize these clear nights. They're so rare, for astrophotographers. So I can be running 3 rigs easily, and to me that's a plus. A lot of people are, don't like these smart telescopes because it's something new, and it's not going to take the place of my rig. And if you get into this and you like this, you'll probably grow into something else. But I think that's what this thing is designed for. I mean, you can get amazing images with it. There's no doubt in my mind you can. But for me, the other night was a perfect example of using this thing. Like I said before, I'm not going to set up my full rig and carry all that stuff outside unless I know I have a nice 3 to 4 hour window to where I can not be bothered by high clouds or high winds. We had really high winds the other night. It was clear. I didn't set my big rig up.
Shut it down automatically.
It's shutting down because I've been running my mouth so long. If you get like a small window of no clouds for say an hour or 2, this thing is perfect for just grabbing it, taking it outside, level it really quick, and then get going and probably get like an hour on something, and it's gonna be great for that. It's so small and portable. Could probably just jump into the car and take this out to a dark site and get some better images out there without using that light pollution filter. It's definitely a great place to start if you're looking to start in astrophotography and you've got no gear. This thing is an absolute beast for the price. I'm Dano. Thanks for watching. If you made it this far to the end, can you please like, subscribe, comment? I try to get back to everybody commenting as quickly as I can. Sometimes at work I can't, but when I get home, I try to get to all the comments. So yeah, if you can help me out, subscribe, and I'll be back with some more takes on the ZWO Seestar S50. Clear skies. Looking forward to seeing what this thing can do. I changed my mind. It's too cold.